Right, I'm back to do my video predictions for UFC 189. This is going on in Las Vegas on the 12th of July, and this is Mendes versus McGregor. I have to say that this is the card that they start the new drugs testing scheme, which I might comment on in next month's Fight Out of the Card sort of roundup. They also start the new uniform system, which I have already spoken about in last month's Fight Out of the Card review. The other thing to mention about this card is that Chad Mendes wasn't really supposed to be on it. And unfortunately, this could be a huge money loser. Conor McGregor, the British blah 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 smack talker, was due to challenge the champion, Aldo, and everybody was excited about it and has been excited about it for about 3 or 4 months. Unfortunately, about a week or two before the event was due to happen, and after a lot of high-profile advertising, because of course McGregor is the new British push, so to speak, Aldo pulled out. And he pulled out because he had cracked or broken a rib or whatever. Now, I have to say 2 things. Firstly, I don't think these injuries used to happen quite so often in times past. Now, you can say that that is because they're, a more evolved fighter, they have to train differently, they have to train more dangerously, and accidents happen. But accidents do seem to happen a hell of a lot, and it's very, very annoying. There is a counter-argument to this, of course, that now the UFC are changing things with drugs and stuff like that. The fighters are having to change weight class, are having to do all sorts of things, and how could that affect their, physical well-being or whatever? I think the other thing is that there was a big thing in the last generation of champion fighters not to mention if you have an injury and to fight regardless, even if that means you lose. And I don't know, to be honest, if that's foolhardy, because you could do yourself more damage and lose everything, or if it's actually noble because it recognises the amount of money that's been put into them, it recognises what the fans want, and it's sort of live and die by the same sword sort of thing. But it is worth mentioning. Now, Mendes is a good sort of challenger, because he is the sort of person who beats everybody except the champion himself. The problem the UFC have here is if Conor McGregor loses to Chad Mendes, there will be no point in him fighting Aldo, and so they had to do it, but it's taking a bit of a risk. I didn't think Conor McGregor would beat Aldo, and I don't think he's championship level. I think he's championship mouth, but I don't think he's championship level, and Chad Mendes is as close as you can get. If anybody can win, it would be Chad Mendes, so I'm going to go for Mendes there. The other big fight is another title fight, and this is Robbie Lawler and Rory McDonald. A lot of people are saying they're going for Rory McDonald. Do you know, I'm not. I'm still supporting Robbie Lawler, and I think he'll win and continue to hold the championship. Dennis Bermudez is fighting Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens has been around since the dawn of time. 23-11 versus 15-4. He's actually ranked less. He's ranked 11 and Dennis is 8. But with his experience, if Dennis Bermudez isn't going to move up in the world, this is the fight that will show whether he's going to move up or not. I personally think that Jeremy Stephens will probably win. Gunnar Nelson and Brandon Thatch, 13-1 versus 11-2. Brandon is unranked, Gunnar is 15. I think I'll go for Gunnar Nelson on that. Brad Pickett and Thomas Almeida, a perfect record of 18 for the latter. The former is, again, a British fighter who has been around a very, very long time, 25-10. And I think he's probably going to win, but he needs to watch out because his stand-up is not quite as good, at least according to this, as Thomas's. So there is a possible threat on the feet there. The mid-card, Matt Brown and Tim Means. A little while ago I would have counted Matt Brown out. I'm not so sure now. Ranked number 5 against an unranked person. But the other person, Tim Means, has a much better record. Might take a risk and go for Matt Brown there. Mike Swick and Alex Garcia. It's been a long time since I've seen Mike Swick on a card. 15-5 versus 12-2. You know, I might go for Alex Garcia just because of how long I think Mike Swick's been sort of out. Cathal Pendred and John Howard. Again, this is going to be either... I'll tell you what this is going to be. It's going to be a war on their feet that ends in decision. I don't know who will win that one. Might go for Cathal Pendred. The next one, Cody Garbrandt and Henry Briones. No idea. Perfect 6 versus 19-4. One of them, Henry is pretty well rounded, but Cody, all his things are knockouts. So I don't know. I don't know on that one. I'll go for Henry on that one. And the undercard, we've got Neil Seary and Lewis Smolka. 8-1 for Smolka and 15-10 for the latter. It's going to be fighter versus groundsman, and they do look pretty evenly matched there. Neil will be on the feet, Lewis will be on the ground. I think I'll go... for Lewis Smolka there, but I could be wrong. And the final fight, Denis Sedeno and Cody Fizder, something like that. 11-4 versus 10-4. Very politically incorrect this, because this is Cuba versus the USA, and they have just signed deals and negotiations to sort of be friendly again. So there we are. Who knows? Denis mainly on his feet, whereas Cody is pretty much split. I don't know. I have no idea on that one, so I'm going to guess, and I'm going to go for Denis. And that's it.